What up, y'all? I'm JT, Chef Tickles, the Alaskan Sniper. I'm here with your boy, Chris Easy, Deuces -1, Chris Evans.
What up, what up?
We're joined here with our man, Big Daddy, the boy himself, Faraz Sani,
What it do, baby?
DB, the Assassin, Sharp Knuckles.
How's it going?
And let's get into it. This is Hoop Session. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Hoop Session. We're at episode 22. We got some good topics today. We're going to go through a kind of a week in review and see just some things that have been standing out to us over this past week in the NBA. We got our pick'em results. We got two games that we're going to discuss about that, and a new segment. We're going to do Guess That Player. I'm going to throw out some clues for these boys. They're going to try to guess who that player is. But first and foremost, just catching up. DB, how you been, man?
All right, man. I had some, big injuries, playing too much, putting too much on my body, Not just from being sedentary and just being at work, I guess, man. My back's been starting to act up a little bit again. So just been trying to take care of it. You guys are probably going to notice during this segment, I'm just going to be moving around a lot. So, yeah, just got to get my back right, man. Got another massage booked for tomorrow morning. So hopefully this old man body can get back ready to go. I'm not even 30 yet, man.
It's crazy. Faraz, how you been, bro?
I'm good, man. Just been focusing on work. I've been having some knee problems as soon as I hit 30. So it's happening, DB. It's a precursor.
Yeah.
Apart from that, been good, man. Just chilling.
Good shit, man. That's where the cannabis comes in handy.
Exactly.
That inflammation. Yeah. Chris, what's new with you, man?
Just chilling, enjoying Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl win. Celebrating alongside him by watching him. So very happy about that. He's living the dream right now, living in Florida, being able to party with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's quite nice to watch. So
on his own little private boat.
What's that?
I was gonna say, if you didn't love him already, man, like watching him party this past little while. Oh man, you two are so much closer now, more closer than ever before.
It finally felt like I'm on his level at something in life,
Staggering out the club. Shit. Oh man.
Fucking boss.
So yeah, obviously the Super Bowl was a big game, but it was kind of a letdown, right? We thought it was going to be a lot of people thought it was going to be more high scoring, but they just kept getting through on that weak offensive line, hey, for Chiefs.
Mahomes just a bit overrated.
I still wouldn't call it a letdown, though, man. I thought it was still a fucking good game.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game. Yeah, it wasn't like a blowout by any means, for sure.
Seeing the domination.
Exactly. He just absolutely just managed that game perfectly, right?
It was nice to see.
Yeah, straight up. Good for him. He's got 7 now, and I'm sure Mahomes will be back, but it was definitely cool to see him get a 7. Then he said he's coming back, so who knows? Next year, Chris, let's see.
Another one. What do you guys think about NFL championships compared to NBA championships? This is actually a good discussion point. Do you think they're worth one for one? A player in the NBA that has 6 rings compared to a player in the NFL that has 6 rings? Is that 1-to-1 kind of thing?
I think it's harder.
For me, it's so hard. Yeah.
I think NFL is harder.
Yeah. NFL's way harder for me. For me to win a championship, I think the NFL, it has to be worth more. It has to be worth 1.5 rings or something. Tom Brady must be sitting at 10 rings at this point.
Yeah. I think it depends who you are, right? If you're one of the key players, then I think it's harder. But you saw that thing with Sean McCoy. He didn't play any snaps, and he's got 2 back-to-back Super Bowls with Kansas City last year and with the Bucks this year, and he didn't play a single snap in both Super Bowls. So it depends, right? If you're Patrick McCaw's got 2 or 3 chips already, but then LeBron has 4, so it's okay. I think it depends who you are. If you're a starting player in the NFL, then I think they're worth more.
I think with NBA though, it's easier, with a 7-game series as well to get through playoffs. It's quite easy, not easy obviously, but you have more of a chance to go through than in a one and done playoff situation where if you have a bad game, that's it for your season.
Exactly. Yeah. With the NBA, the better team usually ends up winning because over 7 games, the better team proves to be the one that wins the most games. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Yeah. But that's why I think it's so much harder in the NFL because if you have one off night, you have one bad game, there goes that season. Like that entire season he's done one bad game. That's like, you know, it puts it into perspective. 7 rings is like, it's ridiculous.
And just think,
it's like,
just think about it in the NBA too. You can call a buddy up and be like, "Hey, come to my team. Let's go gang up and win this game, win this series." You can't do that in the NFL. Brady can call up a receiver, but if your defense doesn't perform, if your special teams doesn't perform, if your offensive line doesn't perform, then you can still lose the game and you can still have a bad season. So
yeah, because one player can have such an influence in basketball, right? Well, I guess they can in football too, but they can influence both sides of the ball, right? You know, in basketball, you're only one of 15 players on the team who won the championship. Where in football, you're one of 55. But again, I think it depends if you're like the starter or not, because to win an NFL championship, you pretty much have to have like a perfect season, realistically. Like you can have a few losses throughout the regular season, but you pretty much have to play perfect football to get all the way through. Whereas like, you know, we've seen these LeBron teams kind of roll through, especially when he was in the East, roll through the regular season, just get to the playoffs as a 4th seed and then go from there. So that's a good question, DB.
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
Yeah. One of the big things that jumped out for me from this weekend is like I said there with the Lakers. LeBron and the Lakers are just rolling. Like it seems they're so finely tuned, and with him getting another triple-double, they just look ready to go. Like the playoffs need to start tomorrow for the Lakers, I think. The sooner the better. But one thing I noticed is like his attitude, LeBron's attitude. I think that's something that I always haven't been a super big fan of. But he just, I don't know what it is this year. It's an arrogance that I haven't quite seen before. So I don't know if you guys noticed his last. Hey, Rex, what a dog.
Sorry, Crystal's just stepping out, so he's gonna start whining.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, he's good. He's chilling.
That's a good cameo.
Sorry, JT.
Rux,
sorry.
No, it's all good. I want to hear yours, Chris, and Rux, your opinion on LeBron's attitude. Did you notice that clip of what I was saying?
No, can you explain? I just had to get him up here. What was the clip you were talking about?
Well, there was that that overtime game against Detroit where he hit those back-to-back threes and he just walked off. He's like, I quit. I'm done. And he like went and laid like on like the side panel thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we know it's regular season. I know it's Detroit, but like, I don't know. It just makes it look so bad. So disrespectful.
Like, for one of the reasons, like, why are you playing against Detroit? I think LeBron is trying to make a point to prove that he can play all the games of the season, and whether he likes it or not, that's obviously going to take a toll on his body. So I think that toll might be catching up to him in terms of he's trying to prove this point that he can do everything, but the fact that it's wearing down on his body is 36, 37 right now, I think. But like that might be one of the. I know he's already proved it, but doing it for the whole season and then complaining about having the All-Star game and needing that break and stuff, like, why aren't you just take the day off against Detroit? Like Anthony Davis is taking days off and he's 6 years younger than you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That attitude is where I think what comes from being overly tired and just fed up with games that you should probably win and you could probably take off.
Why now though? Like it seems like he's in year 18. Like why would now be any different? I don't know. DB?
So JT, like I haven't been watching too much basketball, just to be perfectly honest with you. Just like highlights and here and there. So you're saying it's like he's showing like kind of like a diva attitude. Is that what you mean? Like he's like showing like an arrogance, like I'm the man, like it's all about me kind of thing, or what do you mean by that?
I mean, like he's like you said, Chris. He's trying to prove a point. I think that he wants to play every single game, but then he's almost like like this grade 12 player that's practicing with the grade 10s, and it's just like super cocky, and he's just like like I quit. I'm out of here. You guys are all trash, pretty much. It's like, okay, then like you said, Chris, then don't play or like just go out and smash them. Like you shouldn't need overtime to get past the Detroit Pistons.
Wasn't it double overtime? It just seemed like, or was it single?
It might have been, but I don't think so. Or I think it was actually.
It was, yeah.
There's just been this shift of like from confidence of like, I'm the best player, I'm the man, to like just like an arrogance. That's just what I felt. I noticed.
Yeah, not that I've always noticed that in particular, but with LeBron, he's always had those tendencies to rub people the wrong way a little bit, especially especially like during like timeouts and like off ball kind of things. You notice little antics and like him going up to refs or like sitting on the sideline, like not getting up and like waiting for everybody else. You know what I mean? Everybody's waiting for him kind of.
Yeah.
He has those moments where it kind of rubs me the wrong way as well. Like, but that's been like throughout, right? Like it hasn't been like a new thing for me. He's had that like throughout his career where he, I don't know. I've noticed that before for sure.
Do you think he'd have that same attitude if they went into double overtime and AD was playing? Like, showing, like he's just saying like the rest of you guys are trash. Like if AD was there, he wouldn't be doing that because AD's his buddy. Whereas the rest of it, like he's doing it all himself, and then it takes 2 overtimes to beat Detroit.
Yeah.
Like
I personally don't
think if he,
I think he's the type of player, if he's in a certain mood, he's just going to do what he's going to do. Like, yeah. Like, that's just the type of player he seems like he is, or to me at least. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, Faraz, like he showed that, he's earned that, I guess, to agree. But I don't know. It was just something different that stood out to me. But regardless, they're absolutely rolling. I believe they're tied for second right now. I think Utah still has the best in the West, but they're absolutely rolling. They look really nice. Thankfully, they've been pretty healthy as well. So let's keep getting AD some rest games and let's keep rolling with it. Got to save them for KD, man.
Yo, JT, random question. I asked this to Faraz actually. This is kind of on topic. Does Dudley stay with the Lakers throughout the entire season this year, like through playoffs and everything? Does he keep a roster spot?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him staying with them unless like someone really good gets bought out for some reason and they need to pick him up. But like with where they're at with their bench, because when D Rose was on the trade block the other day, it's like, oh shit, like I wish Lakers could have made a move for him. But it's like, well, they don't really need him. Like they have good guards, they have good bigs, they have like a good bench. So like I don't know if like a Drummond gets bought out and you need that roster spot. Yeah, okay, sure. But I think he's there. Yeah, I don't know. What does he cost him? Like $150
and a washer machine.
Dude, 2.3 mil, man.
It's not bad at all, man.
Not bad at all for not playing.
Yeah, and he's there for like Faraz also mentioned as well when we were talking about this. Like he's there for just like moral support, basically. You know what I mean? At this point,
yeah, he's a cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly, cheerleader, and like also in case LeBron gets into a scuffle and he needs to go in there and just kind of, get in the middle of it, maybe give someone a cheap shot or something like that.
Take the suspension.
Yeah,
100%. And I bet in like practice and stuff, I bet LeBron like probably demoralizes a lot of players that he's gonna have to go comfort after. Like I bet that's like a routine thing. I bet you, man. And he has to go consult. He's like, yo, like don't cry later, man. It's all good. Like
that's a great point. No, for us, it's funny. It sounds funny, but it's actually such a good point. Like in games too. Like I'm thinking of that moment where he was like yelling at Danny Green last year, and like Danny Green almost started crying. Like that's a perfect moment where like a vet's gonna need to come over and be like, "Yo, man, it's okay." Like Kuzma, he doesn't actually hate you. Like it's okay.
Yeah. He just hit.
Yeah. Oh, Kuzi. Do you think he's gonna be there, DB? Or do you think?
At first, I thought, man, the Lakers, why not move him out, get another piece that's actually going to play, contribute, or whatever. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, he does help with that aspect for the younger guys. He does. Like, you can clearly tell. Like, he's one of those guys that, like, winning teams don't mind having around. And that's pretty good to say because his actual game doesn't really do it. So he must be doing something in the locker room and in practice and that really on the bench that really does help. Because otherwise, like, I mean, they could fill that spot with someone that they could play more consistently for sure.
And it seems like dudes like him. Like other dudes just seem to, they're like
Paul George.
Unreal.
That's true though, right? Yeah. His teammates like him.
Yeah.
Right? Like the people that play with him, they like playing with him. So.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I like that, Chris, except for Paul George. That's great. Chris, who do you think, what team do you think has underperformed the most this year for you?
Oof. From our predictions at the start of the season, I want to say the Mavericks. The Mavericks, like you have Luka. I don't know if KP has been playing every game. I haven't really been watching, but it's sort of like this team is just seems like they're just not winning games. They're 11-14 right now, and like you have one of the probably best young players in the league. You have one of like a top big man, and I don't get why you aren't winning. Like 11-14 to me, I think Dallas should be top 4 easy, but then you have Phoenix up in the top 4. So like
that's nice.
That is real nice. I really like that, but it's like Dallas, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, we're already a quarter of the way through the season, 19, 20, 25 games. Third of the way almost,
Third of the way,
So it's like your time's slipping away. Even they are two games back, and obviously anything can change, but it's tough. You know, you'd expect Dallas to be up there already, but
100%, yeah. I think everybody's been saying Luka's out of shape, and then there's like KP's been injured. Luka was injured for a bit himself, but it seems like it's just those two guys, and then they don't really have anything else. Like they need a 3-man or a 4, or like a nice 4. I think they played their best ball when KP's at the 5. So Dwight Powell's nice, Maxi Kleber's nice, but I still think they play the best ball when he's at his 5, and they can spread the floor, and Luka can do everything. So I think they desperately need to make a trade. They've shown last year that Luka can try to carry him as far as they can, but it's just not enough. Now KP's back, and it's just still not enough. Like you said, they're not even close to the top 4. So,
to be fair to them, I think it's a little bit too early to judge them as well. I think they're one of my biggest disappointments as well, but I think it's way too early because KP came back, 7 games ago? I don't know, 7, 8 games ago maybe, if that. And then also Doncic, like you said, came in out of shape or whatever, and it's only 20-something games in. It's I don't know. I think you got to give them the benefit of the doubt that if they could still sneak into that 6, 7, 8 spot, they're still kind of okay, right? Like, what do we really expect from them this year, realistically, in the West?
I thought they were going to be top 4 easy.
And a lot of people thought Luka was going to be MVP, right?
We all did. We all thought he was
I think Utah
was one of the easy choices for it. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
We all thought that was one of
and with Utah playing out of their minds. With Utah playing out of their minds, that kind of takes that spot, right? Like, I think we kind of expected maybe that, it'd be Lakers, Clippers, and then these guys. So that's definitely surprising as well. Faraz, how about you with Mavs?
They have been a little bit disappointing for sure. But again, my expectations for them weren't as high as I guess most other people. I don't know. I did expect them to be a top 5, top 6 seed, and I did expect Luka to be in the running for MVP 100%. But I'm also not surprised to see them struggling a bit just because they're super young. They still haven't fully figured it out. Luka's like a baby, like if you legit think about it still. For me personally, the biggest underperformer out in the West especially has been the Pelicans. I thought they'd be in a better position than they currently are. I thought they'd be super exciting to watch, and keeping the games close at least, and always competing in there. I don't know. It seems like they're slipping a little bit. I don't know if they're not buying into the Stan Van Gundy system. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're not that good of a team, really. Only really good thing I've seen so far is Josh Hart is kind of putting on a show for himself, and maybe he can get traded somewhere nice.
Speaking of Josh Hart, did you guys see how many rebounds he grabbed the other day?
17,
dude, he's a rebounder now.
He has 17 rebounds. What the hell happened there? He's 6'4".
I told
20 and 17
at the beginning of the season he's the best rebounding guard in the league. I literally no joke, we were talking about this, and I'm I think he's one of the best rebounding guards in the league.
Yeah.
He actually tries so hard on every freaking possession. It's crazy.
But see, when you have Zion and Steven Adams, Josh Hart should not be getting those rebounds. He's the tryhard of that team.
100%. Exactly. If you look back at his stats 4 or 5 games ago, I think he had 9 rebounds and 2 points. on like one of two shooting, like he just goes in there and just tries. Like that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And he plays defense. He gets steals and blocks. I
Yeah.
was thinking like Brooklyn. It would be nice for Brooklyn to pick up a guy like Josh Hart, like that needs like their defense picked up a little bit, because a guy like that just makes the system's defense better when you got one guy trying much harder and putting in that extra little bit of effort that the other guys aren't doing. It really does makes them stand out a little bit more. And I'm pretty sure they're like last in defensive rating, so they can only go up.
Yeah. Well, for me, I watched them last night, and I think I saw some highlights from the night before. I think they're really trying to showcase Lonzo to get moved, right? Lonzo, I think he's not there long term, so he's been playing quite well. Like I think he hit 4 threes in the last 2 games that he played, and last night they smoked Houston by 29 points. So they've been on a 4-game winning streak. Ingram had 22 points, like you said. Josh Hart had 17 rebounds, which is insane. But yeah, maybe it's just taking some time to buy into that old school coaching mentality with your main core is so young, right? They're just so young and trying to get by with athleticism. So anything hopefully will improve that defense. But maybe once they move Lonzo, maybe there's a piece in there for Bledsoe as well. Maybe he can get moved as well. And they can get in somebody who's like a little bit better fit long term and positionally as well, right?
Yeah.
JT, speaking of Houston, do you think Houston's underperforming?
I think they're doing quite well. Like I think people assume they're going to do bad because you lose James Harden. But anytime like you're actually trading him and Westbrook for that matter, I guess, like they have a lot of good guys on paper. They're a good team, I would say. Boogie had an awful night last night. I think he was like 0 for 5 from 3, 0 for 6 from 3. Just an awful night, fouled out. But I think they have a move to be made as well. I don't think Oladipo is going to stay there. I think he's going to get moved at the trade deadline if there's something available. Again, maybe something in like the 3, like a wing, a 3-man, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm okay. I'm kind of okay with Houston. I think they'll make the playoffs, and I think they'll probably lose in the first round.
Yeah. I mean, they're what, 13th spot right now in the West?
Oh, is that right?
They're 11 and 13.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they're disappointing a little bit.
They're only 2 games back from the 7th spot.
That's the thing. Everybody's so close in that West.
It doesn't matter right now. It's just like you got to win when it comes down to crunch time, right? Like at the end of the season, it comes down to who starts winning then. That's when it really matters. It's too close right now.
What's interesting too is I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure which teams this will really affect, but a lot of teams have, a few teams have had like 8 games postponed or something. So they're going to have to make those games up, right? So maybe even if they're a few games back now, but they have whatever, 5, 8 extra games to play. It's like, that's a huge advantage come the end of the year, possibly. Or
I did hear
something.
With regards to that, I did hear like a week ago that if they don't finish their team, like every single game for every single team, it'll be average wins per game. And it'll sort of balance out that way where you balance everybody's team if every team doesn't finish with the same amount of games, which will make sense, but it sort of could screw some teams quite well. But
it's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird, but I think that's kind of just what you got to do, right? Like, and I think that's what the play-in tournament kind of solves as well. Like, if you can't make the 10th seed, you don't deserve to get in. If you played 3 less games, like I don't really care. But speaking of teams playing well in the West, Sacramento, those guys have just been balling over there. De'Aaron Fox playing like an all-star. I don't think he'll get it this year, but he's been at that caliber. He's playing unbelievably well in the 4th quarter. Specifically, he's shooting above 40% from 3, and he's just been dominating 4th quarters. And my boy there, Tyrese Halliburton, he's finishing games, playing really, really well, shooting, defending. I don't think it will necessarily last for these guys, the Kings, but it's nice to see at least finally they're doing something good. Hey, Faraz, have you been seeing this at all from Sacramento?
A little bit. I mean, they are balling out. It's honestly, it's because I follow De'Aaron Fox on Instagram, so that's why I've been seeing a little bit of Sacramento. I mean, good for them, man, because for a few years now, people have had 0 expectations every year for Sacramento. And like legit zero. No one expects them to make playoffs. No one expects them to be exciting. No one expects them to do anything. It's nice to see that they're kind of surprising everyone. But to be honest, what is their ceiling? I think this is just a good little stretch of basketball. And they'll go back down a bit just because of how tough it is out in the West. But it's nice to see that the young core seems to be developing nice together. Yeah, it seems like they're developing a little bit of chemistry, and I mean, who knows? It could have potential. Like they could become really good.
Yeah. Well, for me, what I see is that's a great question. What's their ceiling? Like, obviously, they're not going to make any noise in the playoffs. I think them making the playoffs would be their Super Bowl. But maybe this is just an opportunity for them to, like you're saying, show their young guys. Maybe it becomes a free agent destination, right? It is California. If you can join a team with Fox, Halliburton, and Bagley, and Buddy Hield, that's nice. Like you have Harrison Barnes on the roster right now, who's obviously doesn't fit their timeline. He makes a lot of money. He's playing quite well for them, but obviously he doesn't fit long term, right? So let's say you get him off the books and you get somebody else off the books. It could potentially be a free agent destination now that Fox is like playing so well. Like you might have, maybe Brandon Ingram wants to go there. So I don't know, super random, but who knows? Hopefully they just start trying to turn around their draft, right? Because they've been botching their drafts lately. They had that big mess with Bogey at the beginning of the year, not asking him if he wants to go or not. Oh man, but yeah, quite surprised there.
JT, I was going to say, I think you can tell that like they still got a lot of things to figure out because they have Hassan Whiteside on their team. Basically, they got a lot of things to work out. They got to figure it out. They got that guy there,
and he plays
that enigma.
I think it was in the Celtics game or a game before that Sacramento played where they had a rebound right at the end of the game and the other team got the rebound, put it in, was only down by 1. And then you could see Luke Walton look like Hassan Whiteside just laughed it off, like off the free throw line. He just laughed it off, like, oh, they got the bucket and they got the ball back, blah, 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 like with half a second left, where you could still lose the game technically. But then you can see Luke Walton staring right at Whiteside, yelling at him, like, box the fuck out, and he's like going like this. Like, of course it's Whiteside that he's going after.
Of course. Well, again, it's ruining those guys like Bagley or like Rashawn Holmes, who's playing well. Like it's showing those guys bad habits, right? Like this guy's still making rosters doing that stuff. Yeah, he's terrible. He's terrible. And then again, another team from the West, similar kind of trajectory. They're probably a little bit ahead of Sacramento, but Memphis has been really impressing me as well. They're in the playoff picture right now. Ja is back and healthy, so he's playing quite well. Again, at an all-star level, but I don't think we'll get an all-star nod just because he was out for a while, and he is still quite young. They'd like to give it to the more established guys, but I think they're looking really good when Jaren Jackson Jr. gets fully healthy and they can get a full season of those two actually together. Hopefully they can start putting the pieces together. They're looking pretty good. Again, Faraz, I don't know what you think their ceiling is.
Ja's been balling out, man. He reminds me a lot of a different body, like kind of different version, but like a young D Rose with like the freaky, like athletic stuff that he just pulls off. And like makes it look easy, but like electrifying. Like it's weird. I don't get it. I would say he's a better shooter already though than D Rose was, although he's not a great shooter. But watching them more and more, I can see that playoffs isn't out of the question. Like for Memphis. Now that it's kind of progressing a little bit more, I wouldn't be too surprised if and only if Ja stays healthy, because legit he's that whole team.
Right now they're a 500 ball and they're in 9th seed right behind Warriors, so you can imagine the Warriors are going to go up a little bit, but there's some jostling there. They got some room. DB, anything with Ja and Memphis?
Nothing really, man. I really like Ja. I think he's I just like his attitude. He kind of in a different way. I know the playing styles might not really be the same, but he kind of reminds me, and this is a huge compliment, of Iverson in a way. Like his attitude a little bit. He's like a small dude, but doesn't mind, throwing his body in there. And I don't know. He kind of gives me that vibe. So I've always really liked him. But I think that team's not going to really do much this year, man. I don't even see them making the playoffs, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Their ceiling is like an 8 seed for this year.
Yeah.
But next year, like you said, when Jaren Jackson comes back as well, and they could play together for the whole year, I'm still holding out the hope, man. I've had him on my roster in fantasy league the whole time, just sitting there injured on the bench in case he comes back. But yeah, I just I don't know if that's gonna happen. But but I like the young guys on that team, man.
Yeah, they got a solid squad. Brandon Clark looks nice. I like that kid too. But Chris, what do you think about our boy Grayson Allen, man? We got to get that guy out of the league. I know Memphis is rolling, but that guy's just like always trying to injure somebody.
Yo, you gotta put some respect on that Duke player's name, man. But honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. I haven't seen him do anything dirty in a few years. I haven't watched Memphis play that much to pay attention to what.
Fair enough. Dude, I thought you keep up to date with all Duke players for at least 10 years.
No, man, never.
Did you see that Duke is now under 500 for the first time since 1999?
COVID season, man. COVID season.
That's crazy. COVID season.
Dude, could you imagine, speaking of that, could you imagine, just a quick topic, could you imagine being a college basketball player right now and not be able to do anything except hoop? And like go to school and like you can't enjoy the college life of like traveling and going to different schools and like fans and all that shit outside.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
A lot of people that are
let's jump over to
weird lives right now.
Yeah. Let's jump over to our pick'em. So we got two games to discuss, two results. So before this one started, Faraz was 3-0. Chris is 2-1, DB is 1-2, and myself is 0-3. So on Friday night, we had picked Boston versus Clippers, which is an unbelievable game. Myself and Chris choosing Boston, and Boston came out on top there. So that puts 1 loss for Faraz and 3 for DB. Whoa, JT got his first win. And Chris is 3-1 after that. And then our second game that was last night, Boston again versus Utah. So Utah stretches it 15 wins in a row. DB and Faraz guessing right on that one. So Faraz is still leading us with 4-1. Chris is now 3-2. DB is 2-3, and JT is 1-4. So our next game that we want to do is on Friday night. And that's going to be Kings at Orlando Magic. So, DB, you want to start us with that one?
Kings at Orlando. Give me a second on that, man.
Yeah.
Kings at Orlando. I'm going to go with Orlando, man. I got Vuk. I need him to perform. Yeah.
You love who?
I got Vuk.
Oh, Vuk. Good shit.
He's good, man.
Yeah.
He's putting up numbers like crazy. So I think he can carry him.
He's their one shining moment there. Faraz?
Sacktown.
Let's go.
Yo, JT.
Chris? Yo.
This game is in Sacramento, hey?
Are you sure? Oh, I thought it was in Orlando. Sorry. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's in Sacramento.
All right, give me a second here, man. JT just trying to screw me over on this one, eh?
What does it matter, man? All the arenas are the same.
No. I think the crowd makes a huge difference, man. We all know that.
Orlando has crowd. Sacramento doesn't. No.
Exactly.
Big difference, man. I'm telling you. No, I'm gonna stick with Orlando, obviously.
Okay. Chris?
I'm gonna go with Sac just because they're at home.
Oh, okay. So DB's the swerve on this. So DB gets that right, he could tie Chris in second place. Or no, he would leapfrog Chris in second place. All right, and then a new thing that we got today, we're going to go guess that player. So we've never done this before, so we don't really have a format, but pretty much I got a player in mind, and I'm going to give you just some random facts about this person, and then I guess just try to shout out the answer if you guys know. So, Todd Bertuzzi. First things first, he's in the NBA. Any guesses?
Oof.
Any guesses? Okay. Just trying to highlight my notes here. So the first clue that I'll give you guys is he only plays one position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got anyone in mind?
No.
Well, what does that mean to you guys?
Either a center or a point guard, pretty much. It's pretty much
There you go.
all the rest to it. So
Exactly.
There you go. Okay. So this guy was born in Houston, Texas, and he is 32 years old right now.
Boogie Cousins.
No.
No, he wasn't.
No, he's
Alabama.
Ooh.
Mobile, Alabama.
Ooh. Ah.
Okay. You guys ready for another clue?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a one-time All-Star.
One-time All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
One-time All-Star.
Yo, Faraz, get off your phone, man.
You cheating.
Fuck you, my phone's over here.
Okay.
He's got two phones, man.
One-time All-Star,
Okay.
JT?
One-time All-Star. I don't have the year off the top of my head. Sorry.
Okay. Keep
Okay.
going.
He was drafted 2008. He was the 35th overall pick. So he was in the second round.
He's currently in the NBA, right?
He's currently in the NBA, yes, sir. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like this guy was on one of Slam High School's like top 100 magazine back when we were in high school. Because I remember the Houston, Texas thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I just can't. If it's the person I'm thinking, I can't get the name.
Well, this just doubles down on Texas. He went to Texas A&M. That helps.
A&M, man. It's so hard. It's really one of those easy ones too. And
wow.
Yeah, it's fairly easy. It's fairly easy. I'm giving you all the hard guesses first, obviously. Okay, let's see what else. So, like I said, he's a one-time All-Star, but he's a three-time All-NBA player.
Oh, that's freaking savage. Wow.
No, it's not George Hill. No, he's older.
Good guess.
Oh.
Okay. He's currently on his fourth team, and this is his second year with that team.
He
was drafted in Nope.
Who'd you say, DB?
2008. Go ahead, Chris. What did you say?
Who'd you say?
I said Hassan Whiteside.
Good guess. Okay, so like I said, one-time All-Star, three-time All-NBA. He, let's see, this year he's averaging 6.7 points per game. Okay, doesn't help much. This year he's also averaging 6.7 rebounds per game. The exact same average.
Center.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting there. So I'll give you this then, DB. His career average is 10 rebounds per game.
Career average is 10 rebounds per game. Wow. Dwight Howard? No,
he made more.
No.
He made like
Aldridge?
And he was the number one
Aldridge?
pick. This guy was a second rounder, not Aldridge.
Oh, second rounder. Yeah.
Aldridge is older.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, he's 6'11".
This is an impossibility, man. I think that Texas is throwing everybody off, man. Everyone's thinking Texas for some reason. I can't think of anything based off of it.
No clue, man.
So here, I'll quickly read all the clues I've already given you, okay? Because obviously once you put a few together, it knocks out a lot of your guesses. So he only plays one position. This year, he's averaging 6.7 rebounds and points per game. He's 32 years old, born in Houston, drafted 2008, 35th overall, one-time All-Star, three-time All-NBA, fourth team in his career, and he's second year with that team. He's averaging 10 rebounds per game, went to Texas A&M, and he's 6'11".
Like, who's a journeyman type center in the league right now?
From Houston.
Like floating around from team to team at this point.
I don't know.
Well, it's only his 4th team, right?
I guess he could have done the floating around earlier on in his league. Yeah. It's his second year.
I was gonna say Lopez, one of the Lopez, but they're in California, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were California boys.
Yeah. Okay. He is in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, here we go.
This year.
Okay.
This year he's in the Eastern Conference.
Okay. Eastern Conference type player. I want to cheat so bad.
I only got a couple clues left, so don't worry.
Hold up on that Eastern Conference clue. I want to think. Just have a little quick think.
Okay. 6.7 points and rebounds per year this year.
Yo, Drummond?
One-time All-Star. Ooh, close, but no.
It can't be Drummond.
No. I don't know why I said that. This wasn't close.
Drummond's playing really well this year, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's 6 and 6.
Yeah.
4th team only it's his 4th team as well.
Yeah. Man.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yo, Blake Griffin. No.
Blake Griffin was the number 1 pick.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Oh.
You gotta think about it that way. It's not. It throws you off, man.
Yeah. Okay. How about this?
One more clue.
Not only is he in the East, he's on an East contender.
Who are the Eastern contenders?
You got to put some Jeopardy music here, Chris.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's running through my head right now.
How many rebounds did you say he averaged in his career?
Career average 10 rebounds per game.
One-time All-Star?
One-time All-Star. 3-time All-NBA. 2-time All-Defensive Player of the Year.
DeAndre Jordan was...
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
My dude.
Okay.
There you go. So
God
the only
damn.
clue I had left was that he was a lefty. That was the only clue I had left.
That would have helped.
Yeah.
That took longer than it should have, I think.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Next one will be better.
Yeah. Good stuff. That was fun.
Yeah, that was all right. Hopefully our one fan out there was interested the whole time.
Yeah.
Like DeAndre Jordan,
who knows, with absolutely no context. It's pretty tough, man. 400
until you got the Eastern Conference, it was a crapshoot. Like no idea who's who.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I said he only plays one position. So DB, you got it exactly. You're like, okay, cool. I can only start thinking about centers or point guards.
Yeah.
And I wanted specifically to pick a guy that was in the second round as well, so that was a little more confusing.
Yeah. But it's funny how we started throwing out like guys that were number 1 picks and like Griffin and Dwight Howard and just random dudes.
It's because you forget. It's because you forget.
You forget the clues. Yeah, exactly. Cool, boys. So next time we'll go through our pick'em as well, and I'm sure we'll come up with some other topics. Like we said, that big game, Sacramento, Orlando. There's some other nice games, but that one seemed like a close one. Cool. Anything else before we dip out, boys?
Yo, LaMelo Ball is balling out of his mind, man. What's going on with that? Just straight up,
right?
As much as I hate, wow. That
rookie of the year, 100%.
There's no doubt. Right now, if he plays the way he's playing right now, there's no doubt. He'd be rookie of the year almost any year.
He's Zion, man. Zion. It's between Zion and Ben Simmons.
The best thing that ever happened to LaMelo was
I like that.
was Rozier getting injured. Right? Once Rozier got injured and LaMelo starting, I don't think he's giving up that starting position back for the rest of the year. That's his now.
Devontae's out for a few weeks too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. All right. Good stuff, boys. Thanks for stopping in. See you guys next week.
Peace out, guys. Love y'all. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for stopping by to sesh with us. If you like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your neighbor, tell your dog. Peace.